Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Kuhn, and I will be creating a tutorial for how to properly use the Michigan Electronic Library to enhance students' ACT writing scores. And this tutorial will be posted online for some of my colleagues who are unable to attend last week's professional development. For starters, you want to type mel.org into the browser. And once you do so and hit enter, you will find this page popping up. We're going to go to the tests and tutorials link. And once you get here, you want to go straight to college preparation. And if you haven't already created a login, you're going to want to log in. New registers, you'll go right here, and it's a very quick process. And what this will do is, for students, it creates a file folder for them to keep all their tests that they've taken, all their results and such. So once we're logged in, we're going to go to college preparation. And from here, we're going to go down to ACT prep. And then we're going to go to the ACT writing practice tests. Okay, and once you get here, you can choose any of these writing prompts with your students. I've already completed test 1 and 2 with my 8th graders. And if they just go to add another, you'll see that there's a traffic light here. Have them start test now. There will be the instructions. And once they click start, you'll see that the time up here in the upper right hand corner begins. They have a 30-minute time period. And so they read the prompt, they do their pre-writing on a scrap sheet of paper, and then they begin typing their essay here. Once they've completed it, or if time runs out, they'll then click next page. Then they'll go to score my tests. And they'll have immediate feedback, and teachers don't have to take a stack of papers home to grade, but they'll have immediate feedback on how their essay was scored according to the ACT grading or scoring rubric, which they should already be familiar with. And then they can personalize, they can see their low areas, they can go ahead and go in and get some tutorials for different portions of the essay. And I did this with the class, the graduating class of 2016. We did one of the practice tests, and then I spent 6 days addressing the low areas that I saw that were consistent. And then I had them take the second prompt. And so, and this was without me having to take time to read every single one and grade, which we know that takes quite a while. So out of 91 students, 54 students showed growth from the first to the second prompt. 22 dropped slightly and 15 stayed the same. I should mention that the first prompt was should public schools adopt a year-round calendar, which they're already familiar with. And the second one was should city governments be allowed to limit the number of pets a resident can own. And many students weren't familiar with ordinances, or they didn't really have detailed examples and statistics to throw out there to back their argument. So I took this data, and once I met with my colleagues, I passed it on to them, and I passed on the logins for the students. And as of right now, we had 0 students who scored a 1. We only had 5 that scored a 2. 50 scored a 3. 4 scored a 35, and I'm sorry, 35 scored a 4, and 1 had a score of a 5, which is quite encouraging because a score of 4 or above means they're already prepped. They're prepared for the ACT writing test. And so we get the majority of this 50 up to a 5 or a 6 by the time they're juniors. We're going to be golden. And that's, of course, the goal. So hopefully we can keep track of this class, and we can continue to use the Michigan eLibrary and its resources to improve our test scores.